it wasn't that bad. Welcome back to another episode of Wrestle Capsule, where you're going to be getting your weekly dose of pro wrestling talk. And I'm your host, B. So welcome back to the show. Today, I'm going to be reviewing AEW product. I have yet to do this on my channel for several reasons. I won't get into too many of them this episode, but I will say this. I just recently started watching AEW product again, more specifically Dynamite shows and Rampage. From time to time, I would watch Dark and Dark Elevation, but not really. I'm looking at the main shows, Dynamite and Rampage, and a couple weeks ago, I started watching it again. I stopped watching it because there was just things on there that I wasn't liking. I have a long list, but like I said, I'm not going to get into it too much today. If you guys are interested, I'll save it for a whole different episode. Let me know in the comments below if you want to know. So we are going to get into Rampage. So let's talk about Bryan Danielson. I almost said Daniel Bryan. I know he's been Bryan Danielson. That's his actual name. And it's still hard for me. And I so want to say it the other way because I'm used to it as everybody else is. But yes, Bryan Danielson came out with his promo. Everyone's happy. He's returned. He's back in AEW. He's better. And the crowd goes wild. They're excited. And he's basically telling the crowd that he's not going to stop wrestling. Like, it basically have to, like, no matter what, if he still has his arms and his limbs and everything is moving and working and shaking, he's going to continue to wrestle. So we shouldn't worry about it, basically. So that's dope. And then next thing you know, Daniel Garcia comes out and basically coming to Bryan saying how he looks up to Bryan Danielson and how he disappointed him and saying that he's threatening to end his career. Bryan starts talking about how he's a great wrestler and he had high hopes for him before he started running with Jericho and before Jericho got in his ear. But I'm like, okay, this is a new way to start off Rampage, because usually it starts off with a match, not with a promo and with wrestlers in the ring just chopping it up, going back and forth. So that was a new thing, which I was like, okay, new, fresh. Yeah, I'll talk about that at the end, about why I feel Tony's now implementing new things into his shows. So I'll get back to that. But yeah, overall, that was a good segment. It was short and sweet. Both men were able to say what they had to say, and I am interested in seeing them have their rematch. It definitely hyped it up for me. So I'm looking forward to Daniel Garcia and Bryan Danielson having their match again. Transition into the first match of the night, which is for, I believe, the AAA Mixed Tag Team Championship. Yeah, the AAA Mixed Tag Team Championship, who currently is held by the newlyweds, Sammy Guevara and Ty Melo. She done took off the Conti, and now she's Melo, versus Dante Martin, Tight Flight, and Skye Blue. Is it Blue Sky or Sky Blue? Girl,
Bruh.
A lot of mercy. I can never get her name right. I think it's Sky Blue. Like, I don't know. Her name. Anyway, what I thought about the match. Because I already knew, based off how it was going, like, I already knew, like, that was going to be the only match, the women's match of the night. But one thing I will say is, because I already had my feelings about the representation of the AEW women's division with the main roster shows, Rampage and Dynamite. But I'll keep that for something else. But what I will say is, with this match, it was definitely for the women. And I feel like Tay Melo really did carry her side of the match. There were times where Blue was messing up, and she wasn't, I don't know. Yeah, one of the things that I do want to say about Skye Blue is that, like, she moves around in the ring well. It's just her execution of the moves, they're not, like, right. Like, to strike, she needs to learn how to strike without hurting her opponent. So I know she's trying to, like, play it safe, but it's to the point she's playing so much safe that it's obvious you didn't hit her. Like, it's maybe I'm just a critic with that. Like, I can't get in the ring and do that kind of stuff, but I know what's good and what's not, and that's why I have this show. So overall, it was a good match, and I was starting to remember why I liked Melo in the ring. Like, it was kind of reminding me of her at NXT, like her technique. Because I feel like ever since she started having her storyline with Sammy, it was less about the wrestling and more about, you know, being with her boo, being with her man, and, you know, being a heel and, you know, taking cheap shots and stuff like that. So to see her in the ring, it was enjoyable. It was an overall okay match. It really was. And I can't believe I'm saying this because I usually have so much crap to say about AEW. I was loving seeing Dante Martin and Sammy Guevara fight because they have they're such aerial wrestlers. And I just, when they do the flips and stuff like that, I just, moving right along. So the next match was between Parker Boudreaux versus Sonny Kiss. I'm surprised Sonny Kiss is still there. Like, I'm like, okay, I haven't seen you in a while, sir, so it's good to see you back. But let me talk about Parker Boudreaux real quick. He gives me Brock Lesnar vibes, and I don't know if you guys caught that, but I do. Yeah, I feel like he's like I'm like, wait, hold on, is this Brock Lesnar's, like, young cousin or secret son? Like, I don't know what's going on, but Parker gives me Brock Lesnar vibe. And he wears the shorts and stuff like that, and he got the tattoos, and he's all, yeah, he shakes his head, yeah. That match between Parker and Sonny was like less than a minute. I was expecting a little bit more. So the next match was a tag match between the Gunn Club, the Booty Cheek Boys, versus Beardhausen. So it's Danhausen and freaking Eric. I'm late in the game. I didn't even know that he signed with AEW. Like, I remember him from WWE as Eric Rowan. I feel like more than anything, this match was it was less about wrestling and more about, like, comedy. Like, I didn't really take this match seriously, and I don't like that because, like, when I watch a wrestling show, a wrestling promotion, I want technique. I want sound moves, whether it's, like, you're a technical wrestler or you're aerial or you're a brawler. Like, I need some substance. Like, it's fun to be entertained and have some jokes and stuff like that, but I feel like overall the whole match was kind of like a throwaway match, you know what I'm saying? Minus Eric. He did good. I refuse to call him Redbeard. The Gunn Club ended up winning. One thing I did like was when Billy Gunn came into the ring and was just like, you got to do better than this. After his sons won, you got to do better than this. And I love that Billy was bringing attention to that match for it not being that memorable and not being, like, something to write home about. The fact that he was coming at his sons like, you can do better than that. I'm going to give you another chance. Next week, you're going to have another match. You better do right. Like, I appreciate, like, story like that. I appreciate that because it's not insulting the intelligence of the wrestling fans. So the next match was Ari Daivari versus Orange Cassidy. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I love Orange Cassidy. Freshly squeezed. At the beginning of the match, Ari was trying to negotiate and convince Orange Cassidy is just basically lay down, let me ping you, and then come join the Trustbusters, and then everything will be good, because it was Ari Daivari and his crew, Trustbusters, and then it was Orange Cassidy, and then the best friends were in his corner. So I don't know why Ari thought that was gonna work, but Orange was like, oh, okay, he played him, so he laid down, and then Ari Daivari was trying to pin him, and then he would roll. And then he was just like, no, come on, I'm just playing. Then he did it again, and then he rolled. And then fast forward, eventually they start wrestling. One thing that I will say about this match with Ari Daivari and Orange Cassidy, I feel like Orange Cassidy is typecast at this point. Like, yes, you're funny, Orange, and you have that comedic style, but you're really good in the ring. But the problem is there's always a pattern. Like, he jokes around with his opponent. The opponent gets the best of him for the match. Then he makes his comeback. Like, it's like a recipe that's always followed with Orange Cassidy's matches.
And you got to give the people what they want.
The crew outside of the ring get involved, but Orange Cassidy was able to save the best friends, Trent and Chucky T, from baby Brock Lesnar. But yeah, Parker Boudreaux. And then that just gave Ari Daivari time to recover and whatever. But eventually, Orange Cassidy won with that orange punch. Always want to call it the Superman punch. And then after the match, the two groups just start going at each other until only Orange Cassidy and Parker are left in the ring. Then Sonny Kiss comes out, and I'm thinking he's going to try to get some revenge on Parker. But then he turns around and kicks Orange Cassidy in the nuts. And I'm like, wait, what? The plot thickens. A Sonny twist. So apparently Sonny Kiss is Team Trustbusters now after getting beat up. So that was a good story turn. I wasn't expecting that at all. So let's see how long that lasts and how that story goes. So what I wanted to talk about was when Lexi was interviewing Swerve in Our Glory, Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee, the AEW Tag Team Champions. So apparently they are going to be facing Private Party next week, since I guess there's not many tag teams ranking in the top 5 to compete against them. I'm looking forward to that. I love Private Party. I have not seen Private Party in the ring on Rampage or Dynamite in a while. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I feel like their momentum kind of got squashed. It's like ever since they got with, no offense, I love Matt Hardy, but I feel like ever since they got into that whole group with Matt Hardy, it kind of, like, I know that was to elevate them, but then when they went heel and they were with Matt Hardy and that whole group, it kind of like dwindled their momentum. But hey, I'm just happy people are getting TV time. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, you probably will disagree with me, but I feel like Rampage was better than Dynamite. I watched Dynamite, and I'll even say, like, for instance, the women's match with Madison Rayne and Jade Cargill. It wasn't the business. The only highlight of that on Dynamite was that Athena came in and was holding the TBS championship. That was a highlight of that for the whole women's thing. Overall, Rampage was okay. It was okay. I feel like I'm seeing Tony. I feel like I'm gonna say this, and I'm probably gonna get hate, and I really don't care. I feel like Tony is definitely watching his competition. I really do. I feel like he's stepping it up. He would be silly to not pay attention to his competition to a certain extent. Last thing you want is to look like your competition. But I'm seeing bits and pieces here and there of like some WWE stuff. There's so much that I can say about this, but yeah, I'm seeing he's stepping it up just a little bit. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought about Rampage. Did you enjoy it? Did you think it's aight? Did you hate it? Do you think AEW sucks? Do you absolutely love AEW? All people are welcome here on my channel, regardless if we have differences of opinion about different wrestling promotions. We can all be family here. We can all talk and all be adults about this. So let me know in the comments below what you thought, guys. Thank you so much for watching. There's going to be more episodes coming soon, best believe. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next week. Signing off. Bye.